What's so good about it?
A lot to be thankful for. You're holding that camera,
Talking about.
walking, smiling. Life's good.
Broke.
Still could be worse.
What's your message to the guys going into this offseason about the need for more improvement next season?
Hopefully we had a chance last year to really see, how dedicated you need to be in the offseason, how much room there is for improvement, and guys that get a chance to test themselves again and get away from here and figure out how much you need to work. So a lot can be accomplished.
How tough has this 2 years been? I mean, obviously the win-loss record isn't what you'd like it to be.
I think overall, our message hasn't changed. From day one, we talked about not skipping steps, and we talked about sometimes those steps are painful, and you're in sports to win, and that's stated and understood. But at the same time, when you're trying to build something that's going to have some longevity and some sustainability, then you have to do it the right way.
Rob said he couldn't really put a finger on where you guys are in the process. Do you feel like you have an idea of where you're at, though?
Because there's no ideal template or blueprint, so you can't just look down and say, okay, now we're at step 1 or 2 or 3. I think you continue to assess your improvement, so you can take that in a sense of where are we financially compared to 2 years ago, where are we organically with our guys in the locker room compared to 2 years ago, where are we improvement-wise, growth-wise compared to 2 years ago. So those are measuring areas that you can tangibly look at.
Where would you say as far as the growth of some of these young guys?
Well, I think if you can take individuals on our team and see what they were like when we first got them, drafted them, and some are able to play 30 minutes in an NBA game right now, which is pretty impressive. So you give those guys a lot of credit. You give our general manager a lot of credit for getting the right people in the locker room.
Jacque asked you this last night. You said you wanted to ponder the answer. Where have you grown and as a coach over the last 2 years, and where do you want to improve?
I think the one thing that I've really tried to challenge myself on is continue to trust my staff. And I got a great group of men around me, and I challenge them to make me better and make us better, whether it's bringing me different analytics throughout the course of the year to challenge some of the things we're doing on the floor, whether it's their ideas. I've always said it does not have to be my solution, but I want the solution. I think that's an area where I'll continue to improve that.
How close is this team to being a playoff contender?
I don't know what the playoffs are. It's going to be different next year. Is the East going to be different? Is 40 wins going to be the same as 40 wins is this year? You don't know. But we do know this team is better than it was 2 years ago, and the goal that we'll establish is this time next year will be better than the year before.
What did you like from Victor in year one? What would you like to see once game 1 next year rolls around?
I think a lot of good things in year one. I think overall he was able to take care of his body, which is important for a rookie in this league. He was able to, sustain the ups and downs of a rookie season, of being able to bounce back from a game that he wasn't, pleased with, to be able to, have multiple games where he played extremely well. To go from a game where maybe he had 8 turnovers and to come back and have 0 or 1 the next game and learn from it. So there was a tremendous amount of learning that took place, and he's in a good place right now.
What would you like to see when he comes back? Summer League, we heard that he might take part in that.
He just he needs to be in situations. So Summer League is the opportunity to offer him more opportunities to play against pick and roll, more opportunities to play off the basketball, with the basketball. And so he'll continue to work on a lot of facets of his game, and the good thing is I have no doubts he'll work on it.
How hard is it to develop a winning culture when you're not winning?
Well, I think there's more steps than just the win and loss column. A lot of it goes into you can prepare to win. There's also cultivate it. It's similar to a garden. You have to cultivate. You got to feed it. You got to weed out some things. You got to fertilize it. So there's steps to making that garden grow. And I think it's the same way in cultivating a winning culture.
You talked about building habits that guys can rely on when things go bad, or the thing come back 2 years later. You feel like you've put a good foundation in place these couple years?
Without a doubt, I think you take whether it's all-season guys understanding the habit of working out in the off-season of getting better, whether it's the habit of preparing yourself, whether you're playing or not playing, staying involved mentally, whether it's just approaching your job every single day and getting the most out of it as you can. Simple as that. That's a habit that we tried to create this year, and I think we did a good job of it.
What's the next step for Nick that he needs to take?
Well, I think he'll continue to improve his body. That's one step of getting stronger. I think there was, different times of the year where, just physical strength was an issue, whether it was him posting up and getting to the position that he wanted to. So I think that's a great area for him to improve. And then he'll continue to improve on both boxes, to be able to throw him the basketball and either demand a double team or get a score for him.
You mentioned physical growth. What are your impressions of Bill, the strength coach, in his first year?
Bill's been great. I love being around him. I love his approach. I think he's got a great rapport with the guys. He'll be really good in the off season of really challenging our guys. They respond to him, and I'm pleased that he's with us.
Why do they respond as well as they do with him?
Well, he had a great relationship with Joe, and so we saw what Rogowski was able to do for our guys and the way he was able to challenge them. So a lot of similar things as far as the actual things they do in the weight room. And then he's a humble guy, humble beginnings the way he started out. So that hasn't left him. He's a hard worker. And at the end of the day, he wants them to be as strong and as great as they possibly can be.
We know that Rob makes the final decisions on draft picks, etc. But how involved will you be in terms of scouting possible draftees and interviewing prospective draftees?
I think it's always a part of my job to be informed. In case a question is asked of me, an opinion is asked of me, I want to be informed. And so whether that is catching up on the year of watching film and seeing guys that I was not able to see because I was concentrating on the season, when I have communications with our general manager and our group of scouts, I want to be intelligent when I present an opinion.
What's on tap for you now the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Do you take you have the exit interviews today, right? Do you then take several days off? Are you going to be here reviewing film? What's on you?
I'll do a little bit of everything. I have kids, see, so school's not out till May 30th, so there's no vacation for Coach Vaughn. I spend a lot of quality time with the missus. I'll drive the kids to school every day, which I'll enjoy. I'll help them with homework, which I'll get a chance to do. I'll watch the playoffs, which I'm looking forward to watching. And I'll take each day and try to get something from it, whether it's watching film, going back over and looking at my notes. So this gives me time to really be efficient and get a lot of things accomplished.
Seeing what Vic did in year one, knowing that have a couple lottery picks this year, does that take away from what you see on the win-loss column, knowing that there will be some talent influx coming in here in the next couple months?
Well, I think that's just really a part of the process is, getting the guys that you have in your locker room better from year to year. You add pieces. That's just a part of the NBA. Some pieces are subtracted, and hopefully you're moving in the right direction, which I feel we are.
If you get two more young pieces, would you like to see a veteran piece come in as well to kind of help balance out that age?
Well, I think Rob and I will continue to talk about that, but I think always, just like this year, you need veteran presence in your locker room. You need guys who've been there before, and so I think you always need some veteran presence in your locker room.
Who do you think is going to win the championship?
Boy, I don't know, Bianchi. That's a tough one to call.
Now, will you be rooting for the Spurs?
I don't root for a particular team. I still have a bunch of friends across the league. I'll text them all probably tonight and wish them well. I just love watching good basketball. Looking forward to that.
Everyone good?